Could there be a spiritual revolution? We certainly need one. Perhaps there could be, but perhaps it wouldn't be in the way we believe it to be. Perhaps there's something different on the horizon. You know, things are so dire in this world, and I have a lot of communication from people who feel the same as I do. It's sort of enough is enough. And we see everything falling apart. We see the natural world suffering. We see the innocent suffering, and innocent in terms of not just people, but wildlife and all that comprises the natural world. And I can't help feeling that we really do need a bit of a revolution now. It's high time we started to think about that. People skirt round it and they like the idea, but I think we're sort of on a spiral towards the centre of something that can help us to feel we're making a difference. You know, a lot of the time you simply feel as if you want to just bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. And that's largely because you feel so powerless. There's nothing you can do about anything. You can have your sense of purpose, you can have your values, you can know what's morally right to do, if you like, what's essential to be doing in a world that's sort of crumbling all around our feet. But it's time to sort of get up off our backsides and stand together and do something, I think. I really feel this happening a bit more now. I really feel that we're casting a net out far and wide to try and entice in those people who feel the same as we do. And I know there's a lot of you who'll be listening to this and watching this who actually feel the same as I do. The workshop I'm going to be running in April will certainly emphasise the point that, yes, everything's falling down, and not just what are we going to do about it, but we can come together to do something about it now. And I don't mean going out there and thrashing about and making a scene and doing all that kind of thing. What I mean is restructuring our thinking. You know, I'm always going on about primary organic thinking, and you're probably fed up with hearing it by now. But you probably hardly know exactly what it is. You might have an inkling of what I'm talking about, but I'm going to be structuring the idea of primary organic thinking. I'll try and do some videos for those who can't get to a workshop, so that they can fit it together maybe a little more in their mind, fit it together with the things that they are going through at the moment, and so that they think, there is something I can do. There is something that will make me feel a little better about where I am and what the hell is going on in this world. I can't help banging on about the New Age still, because as much as we've had all the other things that have taken over in our world, colonisation, we've had great sweeps of civilizations setting up here, there and everywhere over many thousands of years. And although that's a long time, it still happened, and it still made a big, big contribution to what's happening now. Do we ever stop to think that colonisation doesn't stop when people stop sailing away to different lands and taking over people's lives on their land and in their land? It doesn't stop there. It also continues within the New Age industry. And I've been a victim of that over and over and over and over again. And I'm quite frankly, tired of it. I nearly swore then, but I resisted. I'm quite frankly tired, fed up to the gills with people believing that what I do is the same as what any New Age neo-shaman would do. And I use all the lingo and I do all the things. And my background is full of New Age material. Well, it isn't. It isn't. When I was growing up, I didn't have a clue what New Age was. No one else did, because it wasn't actually invented then. It's dire. It's dire. But the New Age has made a contribution in terms of colonizing. It's colonizing all of us. It's making us all conform to specific rules that mean that we've got to see culture, spirituality, and even our emotional lives in a specific light. Well, that's not on. That's not on. And also, we've got to, I suppose, awaken to the idea that if we don't start to get real now and rescue from within ourselves, if you like, something that we feel is authentic, something that we can see is real and is trying to tap us on the shoulder and say, wait a minute, everything's falling down. Are you going to do anything about it? Well, we can. We can come together. We can start talking. We can go through transformations within ourselves. We can help our emotional lives, our social lives, our psychological lives. We can help ourselves in so many ways if we only understand what primary organic thinking is and the ideas that are behind that. I'm not just sort of making this up as a pretty little idea. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the nuts and bolts of how we need to approach things, how we need to approach the idea of spirituality and the idea of culture, and the idea that we can make a contribution in our lives to something that's meaningful and, above all, get something back from it. That's a big thing to remember. If you can, if it's at all possible, try to come along to this workshop I'm holding. You'll see the details on my website, and I'll try and add some details here if I can. Try to come along if you can, because then you'll be able to give a little bit of time, talk about primary organic thinking, talk about natural world values, talk about these things as real things, which is what ancient people would have done. They would have thought like this, talked like this, behaved like this. And it doesn't mean to say you've got to run out and build a hut in the wild. We can do it here where we are now in our sitting rooms, or in my case, in the dining room with pretty little lights behind me. We can do this. I want to fire everybody up, because that's how we've got to be. We can be fired up. We can feel unique. So revolution, that's what we need. And revolution in terms of coming together, getting real, talking about ancient culture, talking about what our earlier ancestors would have thought and felt and done. And we're all in that same boat. Just because I'm who I am, I've not got any head start in terms of my ancestors. We've all got ancestors. You have, I have, everyone has. And we need to perhaps call out to our ancestors and say, look, we're thinking of you. Hey, listen, we're here. we're thinking of you, and we're going to do something about it. And then your ancestors might well stretch and yawn and say, thank goodness they're actually thinking about us, because that's what we always did. We always thought of ancestors. No matter what culture you go into in earlier times, ancestors featured in a big way. So I think we just need to be fired up. We need to feel that the ideas we've got, that everything's going down the pan and isn't it awful, and what can we do about it? All these ideas that we've got need to come to life, and we need to breathe life into how we feel and what we can do, what small things, what simple things we can do just to make a difference to the way we feel and help those we love around us in the same way. Sickness, conflict, war, we're meeting all those things that forecast the end, the downfall of a civilization. And that is what is happening to us at this moment in time. So the idea is that if we have some kind of spiritual revolution going on that we come together on, then we're taking into account the fact that this civilization is falling down. We're not denying it. We're not saying, oh, it can't fall down. Every single civilization on this planet has fallen, and ours will be no different. It's still falling. But if we can come together and accommodate that and say, we understand what ancient values are, we can make a difference to each other. That's what we need to be doing in this dark hour. We need to see that sun rising. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep talking like this until the bitter end, really, because I feel that's partly what I'm here for, to be trying to fire people up to what is real about the ancient world and what has been taken away from the ancient world by the New Age industry, and what we can do to rectify that, and what we can do to help ourselves feel a part of the ancient world. Because we are a part of the ancient world. There's part of us that, well, that ancient part never left us. It's still there. But we've just got to reignite it. And imagine how that'll make you feel. But we've got to start coming together and talking more to do it. Don't just say, oh yeah, well, Jasper said that, and it's a really good idea. Let's wait till the next video, and then we can say it's another really good idea. Yeah, I think that as well. We can't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore. I want to gather a group around me of like-minded people who really feel the same. And I know you're out there. You're probably watching this. And I just hope that you feel the same as me, that you want to just make a small bit of difference to your own life and to gain some insight and some well-earned relief at talking about this. That's all we need to do. We really hardly need to do much else. We need to come together, talk about it, talk about what's really going on, realise the investment we might have put into it, or the mess that's going on around us, and just step out of it. It's simple. That is a tremendous healing process, and that is a transformation. And that's, I suppose, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about allowing, permitting yourself to transform and give yourself a break. Give me a break. Give each other a break. Let's do it. Let's call into action all the things that we want to talk about, all the things we want to do. Let's make it real. Let's have a revolution now, before it's too late. Thanks for listening.